everybody in the classroom. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
We back at it again, another Sabbath service, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushua. A hearty shalom to the mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, enduring all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom to all of the men of the Lord that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying. They're waxing strong and mighty in the last days. And last but not least, shalom to the sisters, the Aquaf out there, married and unmarried, holding it down in the households, following Titus, the 2nd chapter, Proverbs 31, and all of our righteous foremothers, Judith, Esther, Martha, Mary, and a woman, the mother in 2nd Maccabees chapter 7. All right, following the spirit of all of our righteous foremothers, shalom, we back at it again.
Khan, shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
Right, so today we're going into a lesson pertaining onto the chariots, man. Right, so we got the article pulled up, UFO report, government can't explain 143 of 144 mysterious flying objects, blames limited data. Right? Yeah, limited data, man. So we're going to show you the article. All right. Got the article pulled up, NBC News. Right? So the so-called white man can't explain these things. Right? These are the signs in the heavens that the Lord spoke about in the last days. These are the chariots of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua. Right? So I'm going to start off with Joel chapter 2 and verse 30. It reads, "And I will shew wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come." So the point is, the Lord said he would shew forth wonders in the heavens, meaning in the skies. And the Lord said, look up for our redemption draweth nigh. When you read Luke chapter 21 and verse 28. So we looking up at the heavens and we seeing the chariots manifest. And the chariots are the so-called UFOs according to the Bible. Also known as wheels, also known as horses, also known as the flying road spoken about in Zechariah the 5th chapter. Right? So these things are of the Lord. And this is how we know we living in the last days, because the Most High is manifesting these chariots to the multitude of the nations of the earth. All right?
God. Right. So, and the world is waking up, man. Right. For far too long, the so-called white man has been deceiving the people and making you believe that these vehicles are operated by extraterrestrials.
Yep.
He put movies like E.T. E.T. got a phone home. You got to call back home. They got to check on them. Right? The damn Simpsons do the damn Halloween special with the green aliens. They have conditioned the masses of Americans to believe that these flying objects, not only are they identified, but nobody knows who's operating them, huh? Now the elites know. The average citizen, the government officials may not know. The lower level government, your congressman, he may not know. You voted for your local senator, he may not even know. But these elite bankers, these men that govern the society, they even know the prophecies, man. They know about Deuteronomy 28. They read the book of Judith, the 5th chapter, about us being in captivity. They read the accounts of David. So they know about the chariots, man. That's right. Our people look at it, that's a shooting star. Your whole life you probably seen chariots and you putting a wish on it, man. You wishing on it. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 104 and verse 3. These are the chariots of Israel, man. And they were made by Yahushua for Yahushua and made for the Israelites, man. That's right. The Lord said the earth was made for our sakes. Those are the vehicles, and they have two missions, either to destroy or deliver. They don't come down and play patty cake with you. They don't sit down a tractor beam and a big trouble board come down. Right. And a twister. You got to spin in the land red and the chariot spinning around, turning up. Right? They don't have a big speaker system on it. You can hook up your aux cord. Right? Then a speaker playing your damn NBA young boy. You know you jakes, man. Right? No, the speaker, they don't have an aux cord, man. That's right. This is technology that the so-called white man can't compete with, man.
Hey, well, it's out of this world. Good. Right? The chariots of Israel are out of this world, man.
Right.
Right? They come from the third heavens.
Right.
Right? The chariots are 100% spirit, man.
Right.
Right? It's not Spirit Airlines. It's not South by Southwest.
Right.
It's none of these things, man.
Yeah, you can't make it. See, the so-called white man, he tried to make a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. He made a replica because he can find those metals. You can't make a chariot because it's not made of metal. You can't dig in the earth and make titanium and find some alloy. These are pure spirits. So that's why you have to have a spiritual body to be inside that chariot.
That's right.
You can't have a flesh and blood body. Your body will destroy itself. So you have to have a spiritual body to even be on that level. But let's go to Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3.
Con. It's the book of Psalms chapter 104 and verse 3. It reads thus: Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind.
You see that? So the Lord maketh the cloud his chariot. Meaning what? Sometimes you see in the Bible the word cloud. It's not talking about a rain cloud all the time. A big thunder cloud. Sometimes it's talking about the spaceships. They're called spaceships in modern day technology. UFO, unidentified flying objects, or a flying saucer, or a spaceship. Right? Now the Lord said he walketh upon the wings of the wind. What does that mean? Yahweh Shah operates in the chariot.
That's right.
Yahweh Shah has his own personal chariot, man. That's why, Jake, you like them whips, man. You seen Paid in Full. You could say this is a spaceship, man. Jake even said that, man. If you got a nice car and you got the whole setup, Jake might call it a spaceship.
Or a chariot.
Yeah, or a chariot, man. Why? Because it's in your spirit to say that. You don't know why you say it's a spaceship. Because you know about those spiritual things. But you really don't understand on a deep level what you're really saying. Right? So that's why Jake cleaved to them fancy cars and the hydraulics and the damn dashboard got to be all blue. Because you've seen those chariots before in the ancient times. From the days of old. But you cleave to that same likeness. Right? You got a precept?
Con. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 12 and verse 10. It reads thus: I have also spoken by the prophets, and I have multiplied visions and used similitudes by the ministry of the prophets. So that's how the Most High speaks in the scriptures. He speaks in similitudes. Right? So the Bible is not going to call, or it's not going to say UFOs.
Right.
It's not going to say unidentified aerial phenomena.
Right.
No, it's going to say the chariots, the wheels. Right? Because the prophets, when they were speaking about these things and they saw the so-called UFOs, they didn't know it as UFOs.
Right.
Right? The government wasn't telling them, look, these are the UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. We can't really explain it.
Right.
So the prophets, they had to explain it the best way they can. And they explained it as chariots, wheels, horses, so on and so forth.
Right.
And that's how the Bible is understood. The Lord speaks in dark sayings, parables. Right?
Come. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 22 and 7. That's a key point, man, because a lot of brothers, what do you mean? It doesn't say UFO. Well, it don't say ICBM missile in the Bible. Right? It don't say a lot of things in there, man. You're not going to see America in the Bible. What if it said America, UFO, the black man's an Israelite? What if it said all of these different things, man? Esau would burn this book, man. Not only would the Apocrypha be removed, you wouldn't even know about the Bible. It wouldn't even exist in your damn everyday life. So the Most High had these things, like the brother wrote it in similitude, man. And our people are known for that slang, that similitude spirit, man. Doing things in code. Jake, you still speaking Pig Latin, man. To this day. Brothers know about Pig Latin. Your auntie and your great uncles and your grandfathers, they speak it. They from down south, right? They tell you that, but you still got that cold spirit in you, man. We're not ordinary people. We're the salt of the earth, man. We do things a little bit different, man. We go against the grain in the spirit. Right? So let's go to the book of 2 Samuel 22, and I'm going to read 10. Right? This 2 Samuel chapter 22 and 10. He bowed, this speak about Yahweh Shah when he returns. He bowed the heavens also and came down, and darkness was under his feet. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. So David actually saw Yahweh Shah in a vision. David saw one of his great descendants, Yahweh Shah, flying in a chariot to deliver him.
That's right.
See that? He said, I looked in the sky, saw this darkness and the destruction. Then he saw this big spaceship, and Yahweh Shah was flying on it. How come David didn't call it a spaceship? We called it a chariot, a spirit, and he flew upon the wings of the wind. Now these chariots, I don't know how the fastest car goes, but I'm led to believe it's a little over, 230 miles an hour. Could be, I don't know. A brother could find out. But the chariots, they go at speeds that you can't even imagine. Right? They go at light, Sam, what they call it, light speed?
Light years.
Yeah, light year, which is really a distance. But they go faster than sound, man. They shape shift. You might have seen a chariot, then it turns to 5 chariots. Then it turned to 10. Then it starts spinning around. And there's accounts of chariots flying by destroying missiles, man.
God.
Esau tried to send a missile up to crack the firmament, and they thought this is it. This is what's going to crack the firmament. Then the Lord said, no, I'm going to send a chariot. And the chariot on footage kind of came down and damn zapped the missile, and the missile exploded, man.
God. Salaki. It's also footage of the so-called white man shooting at the chariots.
Right.
Man. Right, and the bullets was kind of bouncing off. Boom, 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 boom. They shooting at the chariot trying to destroy the angels, man.
God.
But you can't destroy the angels.
Right.
Right? The angels don't die, man. Right? They're not like mortal men in the flesh. Mortal men in the flesh die, they perish, they see corruption, the grave 6 feet under. You gotta have a funeral for them. Look, the angels not like that, man.
Yeah,
they have a different flesh.
It's like they don't have angel funerals in the third heavens, where the angels got to sit there and cry, and they bury another angel under the clouds, and then the angels sit there and say, well, what are you going to do, Michael? No, they don't have that, like the brother said, man. They're spirits.
Precept. Khan. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1, and verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. So the prophet Ezekiel, he saw the chariots of the Lord, but he called it a cloud. Also spoken about in Psalm chapter 104, verse 3. That's the precept. Reading on. And a brightness was about it. So a brightness was about this so-called UFO. Right? Like the brother was going into. Right? The so-called UFOs, they not plain. Right? They decked out, man, in righteousness.
Right.
Reading on. And out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire. And let's skip to verse 19. And when the living creature went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Right? Verse 20. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Right? So who are these living creatures in the wheels? It's the angels of the Lord, man.
Right.
Right? Ain't no damn stern wheel within the chariots, man. No, man. These chariots operate solely off the spirit.
Yeah, I wanted to make a quick point. Like the brother brought out, it says, can you read that part again?
Con.
It says the spirit was in the wheels.
Con. Verse 19.
Con.
Verse 19. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up.
So when the living creatures, when the angels moved, the chariots moved.
Con.
Right, go on.
Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them.
The wheels are the chariots.
That's right. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels.
You see that? There's no engine and transmission. There's no pistons moving up and down and damn, the engine got it. No, there's no engine in the chariot, man. There's no Hemi.
Yep.
You open up a Hemi. There's no Hemi inside of that, man. Right? There's a spirit that's operated via the angels. Now, you may call it telekinesis. That's what the so-called white man will call it. When you move stuff with your mind. Like you seen X-Men, you seen Jean Grey. She moving all stuff with her mind and all of that. That's what the angels do with the chariots. But instead of their mind, they use the spirit that the Most High gave them.
That's right.
So when the angels return with Yahweh Shai, they're operating in the spirit. And Jake, you're scratching it. What do you mean? There's no gas pedal. No, there's no gas pedal. There's no emergency brake. The angels don't put on blinkers, man. Gotta pop a left. Then he popped a U-turn.
They don't got to put it in drive.
They don't need a license.
Right.
They don't have to put it in drive. Right? There's no push to start. Angels don't get a flat.
Running out of gas.
They don't run out of gas.
Some angels got a manual, some got a...
Yeah, some got a stick shift, automatic. Right? Then you got trucker angels. Angel got a big back on it.
Right.
You might see the chariot with a big seat in the back. It's 26 feet. Then he's shipping the food, the manna to the Lord. Then the manna said, you're late. You got to drop it off to the Israelites in the wilderness. Then the angel said, but look, you know, I was on sick time. And the Lord said, oh, look, there's no work like that,
Got
man.
caught in traffic.
He got caught in traffic. He got caught in traffic. No, they're spirits, man. They don't have sick time. You don't have hauler angels and angels, police angels pull over the other angels and you're going too fast and the angel do this and get out the car. You gotta put his hands behind his back and the Lord take him to hell. Right? So we gotta clear up the confusion, man. The spirit of the wheels is with the angels. They go hand in hand. And Ezekiel saw whenever the angels move like lightning, the spirit of the chariots is moving like lightning.
That's right. It's the book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 23. Because this all goes back to the Most High being deep, man.
Right.
We can't find out the ways of the Lord. We can try to sit up here and try to understand and try to really go into it, but we really don't know, man.
Right.
We really don't know how these chariots really operate, man. Let's get Job chapter 37 and verse 23. It say, touching the Almighty, and the Almighty is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, the Most High. We cannot find him out. He is excellent in power and in judgment, and in plenty of justice he will not afflict. So the point is, we can't find out the Heavenly Father because the Most High is deep, man. Right? All the ways of the Lord are above man's ways. That's spoken about in Isaiah chapter 55. Let me bring that out.
Bring it out. I got precept.
Come. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 55. And we're going to start at verse 8. It reads, For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So the point is, you can't find out the Lord because he's too deep, man. Here it is, you got these so-called wise people of the world. They trying to find out the Heavenly Father through science, math equations, right? Trying to dig deep in the earth and find out the Lord. You can't find out the Most High. Right. He's deeper than man, right? So the point I'm making is these chariots are deep and you really can't really understand them, man, because they operating solely off the spirit. They are not of this world.
Right.
All right?
It's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 24. Right, Ecclesiastes, actually I'm going to read 23. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and 23. All this have I proved by wisdom. I said I will be wise, but it was far from me. That which is far off and exceeding deep, who can find it out? Even Solomon said that. He said certain things are too far off and too exceeding deep. Who can find it out? Because Solomon, he's never been, see, there's a difference between wisdom, like knowing things, and having experience. Right? He hasn't experienced being inside of a chariot, so how would he know about it?
Right.
About literally being inside a chariot. How would he know about how to drive a chariot? Right? How would he know about what the throne of the Most High feels like? You understand? He hasn't experienced those things and physically done them. Now, he had a lot of knowledge and wisdom and understanding, but even certain things, he said, it was too far from me, man. So if it's too far for Solomon, and he's the wisest man to ever exist and walk the earth, that's the Lord. Now, the so-called white man who have his Isaac Newton, his Albert Einstein, and they'll say these guys are the top geniuses. Even though now to this day you can look up, there's Israelites that have exceeded the IQ of these Albert Einsteins. And these guys, these prodigies, still like 12 years old, man. Right? They're like Judites and Issacharites, and nobody's talking about them. But the point is, when we go into these spiritual things, certain things are exceeding deep, and there is no theoretical equation or hypothesis to figure out these chariots, man. That's why the article says what? Let's pull this up one more time. Right? Salakia did something. But I'm going to pull it up again. Right? It says, I don't know what I did. But it says, there's 144 chariot sightings, and Esau can only explain one of them. Let me break this.
Read it.
Nah, I just want to show the title again. Right? Salakia, so bear with me. All right, but let's go to Acts 1 and 9 while we pull that up real quick. Let's go to the book of Acts chapter 1 and 9. Let's get the precepts rolling. See that? UFO, what is it again?
UFO report. Government can't explain 143 of 144 mysterious flying objects. Blames limited data.
They blame, that's proud. Blamed limited data. This devil is proud, man.
just go ahead out there and say you don't know.
Yeah,
Esau.
just say you don't know, man.
Right, and that's why the Lord said
Damn.
pride goeth before destruction.
Right. And a haughty spirit before a fall.
It's okay to say you don't know, bro.
Right.
Not everybody knows everything, man.
That's Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 12.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get that real quick, King. Right? Let's get Ecclesiastes. Let me see that real quick. Alright, that's all right. Right, Ecclesiastes. Malachi gonna get it. That's all right. Wow. Right, let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and 12. It reads.
I got it.
You got it?
Con.
I got it right here.
Con, bring it
It
up.
reads. So like 5 and 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. See that? So this devil said we don't know about the chariots. We can explain 1 out of 144. Key number 144. That's to the Lord, man. Because how many elect of the 12,000 are getting beamed up? 144. 12,000 from Judah all the way down to Naphtali are getting beamed up in the chariots.
That's right.
You see that? And this devil said, well, we don't have enough data. What he's saying is if you gave us 200 more years, we'll figure it out. That's what he just say that, man. Give us 50 more years, we'll finally break down what the Most High is. Then the Lord say if you can seek out in Jeremiah, let's get that real quick. Let me get that real quick, King. And Jeremiah 31 and 35. Right? See, this devil think he know every damn thing, man. Right? Jeremiah 31 and 35. Thus said the Lord, which giveth the sun for this man still say that damn earth revolves around the sun. So he didn't have his chance. And he still came up short. Right? It says, thus said the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever. Right? Thus said the Lord, if heaven above can be measured. So if you could get a mathematical equation to measure the heaven above, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Lord. So it's saying the so-called white man can't search out the measures of heaven. He can't figure these things out. I don't care if you go to Harvard or Yale on a full ride scholarship and you dating the damn professor, you're still not going to get the answers from him.
That's right. Con, precept. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 19. Matter of fact, let's start at verse 18. All right. It say, let no man deceive himself. Right? So the so-called white man is deceiving himself. Because he think he's the top guy on earth that has all the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? Reading on. If any man if any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise. Right? So the so-called white man, he's wise in this world. Right? He knows the math equations. He knows the trigonometry, the in-depth details of how to construct a nuclear missile. Right? That's the wisdom of this world. Reading on. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Right? But who gave the so-called white man this wisdom? The Heavenly Father, man.
Right.
So imagine how much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that the Lord has for him to give all this wisdom to the so-called white man. Right? So the so-called white man knowledge is foolishness unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
Right.
Right? That's the point.
That's right. Let's go to Acts 1 and 9. Right? Acts 1 and 9. Yahushua got taken up in the chariot, man. Go, like I always say, go tell your Christian pastor that Jesus Christ was abducted in a spaceship. And they gonna kick you out the church, man. People still get mad at us in the truth.
What you talking about?
Right, they're looking at their fringes. What do you mean? He got taken up in it. They clutching their fringes. They mad at us.
Dealing with that spookism.
Yeah, they call it spooky stuff. Like them Egyptology people. Yo, here you go with that spooky stuff again. Let's go to Acts 1 and 9, man.
God.
Right? So you can't be a carnal mind, man. You gotta have faith in this thing, man. You gotta believe the works of the Lord, man. Now you're looking in Genesis, you're looking at the 6 days. What does it say? The Lord created the chariots and it was good. And the chariots were made before Genesis.
That's right.
They were made before the first day. There is literally no account on when the Most High made the chariots. Because that's outside of time. That's how deep it is. See, time is relative to Genesis and for us to understand. This is beyond time. In the beginning deals lets you know what? Now I'm giving you the timeline of what I want you to know. That's what the beginning means. Here's what I want you to know about your beginning. And what and how far back you go. But the Lord didn't say in my beginning, right? Or the beginning of Yahweh Shai, or the beginning of the chariots. This is your beginning, and this is what the Lord gave to us. But he didn't give us what the days of the angels being made, and the days of the chariots, and when he made Yahweh Shai. And how long the Most High exists. He doesn't give man that, because man can't handle that. Man to bug out and corrupt and die in his fleshly body.
Salaki, that's why the Most High is known as the Ancient of Days.
Right.
That's in Daniel chapter 7 and verse 9. Why is he the Ancient of Days? Because he has no beginning and he has no ending, man.
Right.
Right, so the Lord is deep, man.
That's right.
And you really can't find out the Most High, man.
That's right.
You'll kind of go crazy.
Yeah.
Right, you be scratching your head. You be up studying for 24/7, right? Not taking showers, not brushing your teeth,
bugging
trying
out.
to find out the Lord, man.
Right.
Not going to work, right? All hell will break loose, man.
Hey, I knew a brother in so-called college back in the world. He said he could figure out the Most High through math. He's still there in college. To this day. And his name was Solomon. That was his real name.
Wow.
His name was Solomon. He said he could figure out the Most High through math. I said, all right, brother, you work on that. When you find out, let me know. Right? I would love to see the damn equal sign and then your damn answer.
Damn.
Right? That's math. That's proud, man. Right? Let's go to Acts 1 and 9. Let's read this.
God.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. So a chariot. If you say, well, that's an actual cloud, how can a cloud, a rain cloud, or different, they got stratus clouds, cumulus, nimbus, how could an actual cloud, a damn cirrus cloud, take up the Lord? What's significant about that? Right? That would have to happen all the time. This is something, like the brother said, out of the ordinary, out of the world. So Yahushua's talking to the apostles, and a spaceship came over them, the tractor beam came down, and it abducted the Lord.
God.
Right? Let's read on. And while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel. So the Lord said, he sent 2 angels and teleported them down to go and talk to these men. Right? Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. But in the same way the Lord was taken up in the chariot, he's coming back in the chariot. And the angels told him that, man. Why are you sitting there amazed and looking up? He's coming back in that same chariot, man. This time to destroy and to exterminate and to deliver.
That's right. And this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 66 and verse 15. And here's the precept on it. Now in Acts, the 1st chapter, it said he was taken up in a cloud. But when we read Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15, it say a chariot. So we know that the clouds are the chariots. Right, so let's bring it out. Isaiah chapter 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind. Right, so the Lord is coming with the thousands of heaven. Right, all the holy host of heaven, meaning the angels of the Lord. It say, and his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Lord is not coming back as a nice guy to sit down and have a cup of coffee with the so-called white man.
Right.
He's coming back to destroy and eradicate and obliterate. Right? Reading on. For by fire and by a sword will the Lord plead with all flesh. And the slain of the Lord shall be many. Meaning the Lord is coming back to kill many people on the earth. Chiefly what man is he coming back to lay down and slay? It's the so-called white man.
That's right.
Right? Because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right? He's been that chief enemy of the earth, man. Right? The whole earth is in mourning under the so-called white man's rulership.
Right.
Right? You're looking at the birds, they kind of falling out the sky, running into your window. Right? You see roadkill all on the side of the road. Right? You see the Israelites mourning in poverty at a low estate, all because of the so-called white man's rulership. You got it.
Real quick. Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice.
Yep.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn.
That's right. And that's the precept, man. The Israelites are in a state of mourning, and the whole earth is mourning under Esau's rulership, man. Right? You go to these zoos, you see the animals locked up. They kind of want to get out of there, man. You got
Not so bad. The animals said, "Look, hey, now the animals are they got homosexual animals now, man."
Yeah. Precept.
Right? Now they said, "Look, we're done, man. We're going to do it, follow the way of East." Even the animals are drunk. You got penguins and lions, and all the earth is corrupt.
Yeah.
You got birds committing suicide, man.
Yep.
They just flying and say, "Look, y'all ready for a mass suicide?" And they just drop out the sky. The whales say, "I can't stand and breathe in this water. I'm going up on land." And the land said, "What are you doing?" And the whale said, "I don't care." And he beached himself up on the sand. And all these fishes are washing up on the shores, man.
Yeah.
So the animals are committing suicide. The animals are turning into homosexual. Man is turning to trannies. All the hell is breaking loose on the earth. People are depressed, committing suicide, in prison. Damn, all the wicked earth, man. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked.
Job 9:24.
He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he, man? So if this didn't happen under the Babylonian rulership. It happened under the Medo-Persian rulership. It happened when the so-called white man came into power. Real quick in 1 Maccabees 1:7 on down, it says when Alexander the Great and the Seleucid dynasty, the Ptolemaic dynasty, Lysimachus, Cassander, and these Greek generals and their descendants came in power, what does the Bible say? Evils were multiplied in the earth.
Con.
You got it?
Con. This the Proverbs.
Okay, all right, bring it.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 29 and verse 16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth.
Right.
But the righteous shall see their fall. Right? So when the wicked Edomites was multiplied on the earth, wickedness spread abroad throughout the land, man. Homosexuality,
Right.
pedophilia, adultery, bestiality, all manner of evilness, man. But it say the righteous shall see their fall. And we seeing the fall of the so-called white man as we speak, man. Right? The fact of the matter that we going into the chariots being the so-called UFOs, that proves that Esau is falling. Right? Because we having an understanding of the scriptures, man. We know what the Most High requires of the Israelites. We know what's going on in this Bible, man. And I got a precept, right? Con. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24 and verse 5.
Right.
And it reads thus. I start at verse 4. It say, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Now, who is the inhabitants of the earth? The so-called white man. Because he runs this world. Because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Right? The scriptures speak about a land Sabbath. But do you think the so-called white man honored that, man?
Right.
No, he digging into the earth trying to find the gold, the silver, the diamonds.
Oil.
Right? Oil. Right? And he's polluting the whole earth, man. That's why he has to be put down.
Right.
And that's why the Lord said he's going to destroy those that destroy the earth. But here it is, the so-called white man got the earth day.
Right.
Right? The nerve of the so-called white man. That's hypocrisy, man.
Right.
Let me get that real quick. Revelation chapter 11, verse 18.
Bring it out.
Right?
He got Arbor Day, he got Tree Day. He tell you don't litter.
Right.
Hey, it's like real quick. Hey, the so-called white man to pay, you gotta pay $2,000, man. If you get caught littering. This man done polluted the whole earth. And he'll say, don't litter, pick up your McDonald's damn bag. Right? Or he might shoot you, man. He might shoot you if you drop your little gum wrap, and it could have been an accident. But you doing a hard time in prison, 25 to life. Because you're littering and a so-called white man dropping off damn trash in your neighborhood. Heroin. He pushing damn cocaine, crack. He's littering, man. Needles. All types of stuff, man. So he's bringing all of the filth into the world. All the oil in the Gulf. They said, look, we got to dig in the Gulf of Mexico. And the oil started coming up. They said it's too much. We got to leave. Now the damn Gulf got oil in it, man. The birds can't swim in there anymore. You see the Dawn commercial?
Hey, the seals suffocate.
Yeah, the seals can't breathe. They're dying. But he'll get on you for littering. So that's why he got to be exterminated, man. Off the face of, see, slavery's not enough. You might say, well, why you got to be exterminated? Right? A lot of people mad at us because Esau bowed down to. What this damn devil done did, man? You got the nerve. You got brothers got some nerve, man. What this man done did, and you want to make a video about brothers when the Lord had that happen, man.
That's right. And that's prophecy, man.
And that's Bible prophecy.
That's Isaiah chapter 49 and verse 23. Now, we don't have to go to it.
Gotta go to it.
But the Lord said, look, the sons of those that afflicted us will bow down before us, man.
Right.
And, man, we get happy when we see the so-called white man bow. Because that's their rightful position.
Hey. And the Lord said, happy shall he be,
Yep.
that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Not now, but in the days to come. Right? But Esau bowed down. That happens all the time, huh? Right? That happened to King David. That happened to Solomon. That's outside of the realm of Yahweh Shah. These things happen all the time. We the sons of the living God.
Right.
And the Lord said, ask of me in Psalms 2 and 8, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
God,
And-
the Lord called us gods in the book of Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6.
That's right.
Now, what do you do to a God? You bow down to him. You reverence it. You worship that God. Right? I got a precept. Right? This is the book of Revelations chapter 11 and verse 18. It say, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto the servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, talking about the Israelites,
Right.
small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyed the earth.
That's right.
Right, so that proves that the so-called white man is going to be destroyed, man. Because he's the man that destroyed the earth on a massive scale. Most Jake do is smoke a damn cigarette,
Right.
throw some trash here and there, right? But the white man, he's spraying chemtrails in the air, right? He's going into the Gulf, pouring out oil, right? Esau got so-called wastelands, man. He got wastelands in certain parts of the earth,
Right.
where he just pour all this waste, all this filth, right? So he has to be destroyed, man, because he's polluting the whole earth and defiling the minds of the people, spiritually and physically.
Come, let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 24. Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 24. See, the Spirit God is getting on Esau. Right? The Lord said, I want y'all to get on Esau. We talk about the chariots, but the Lord don't like the so-called white man. He hates Esau, man. So the Lord kind of got it. It's not up. We didn't say we're going to go on Esau today. We're going. No, the Lord got us doing this, man. The Lord said the preparations of the heart and man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. That's Proverbs 16 and 1 on down.
Hey, no man have power over the spirit to retain the spirit.
That's Ecclesiastes 8 and 8.
That's right.
Now that he power in the day of death, man. Right? This Jeremiah 51 and 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion and your sight, said the Lord. Meaning we get to see the evil. We're witnessing every day, man. We're watching. The Lord doesn't say this is happening behind closed doors. He said, in your sight, you're watching the pollution, the destruction, the enslavement, the bombing, the robbery of Esau. Verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord, which destroyest all the earth. And I will stretch up my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. So the Lord said, America is the place that destroys all the earth. You see that? They destroy the earth because you might have even other Edomite countries who might say, like, look, we're going to stop emitting carbon monoxide in the air and dioxide. And we're going to have a global pact. Like, you might go to Luxembourg, you might go to the Netherlands, and some of these so-called European countries, they trying to stop as best as they can, but America said, no, we're going to do what we want to do. We won't give a damn. That's what the Lord said, whose look was more stout than his fellows. In Daniel chapter 7 and 8 on down. Because this devil, he's not, these American elite Edomites, they're not like the other Edomites. They're on a different playing field.
That's right.
Back to the chair.
God. Let me bring out a precept.
Yeah.
What you have?
I have precept.
God, what was it? Jeremiah 51 and what?
I read that 24 through 25.
God.
That one on the chair.
God. Let me go back to this article.
God.
God. Going back into the article. Let's dive right into it. It say the U.S. government can't explain 143 of the 144 cases of unidentified flying objects reported by military planes, according to a highly anticipated intelligence report released Friday.
right? It say that report released by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence was meant to shed light on the mystery of those dozens of flying objects spotted from 2004 until 2021, but instead said it didn't have adequate data to put all but one of them into a category.
Now, again, that man said he don't have adequate data. Now, on an old channel, we had a channel, the Adam Abbott channel, that's before this one. We did a video on the Chariots, and when you look up, Esau got a show called Ancient Aliens, right? He got a show when he got that guy with the bugged out hair, and he foaming at the mouth, pointing his finger. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That nasty Edomite, right? Now, they go into the Chariots, but they kind of go off. They go off and they start doing their own thing.
Fiction.
And they get too into it and they start lying and all of that. But some of that stuff they show you is accurate. Like they'll show you that the other ancient civilizations knew about the Chariots, man. They have it written on the walls.
The Egyptians.
Yeah, the Egyptians, the Edomites, they all know about the Chariots, man.
Moab.
Yeah, the Moabites. All these ancient nations know about the Chariots, but they have their own name for them, right? And we'll put that up in due season about these different accounts of how the Chariots are encountered these other civilizations, right? But we'll go into that too. But the brother's going back into the article, and I bring that up to say Esau's a damn liar, because if all these other ancient nations knew about it 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, and the Lord said in Ezekiel 28 that there is no secret that they can hide from thee, this man know about the Chariots, man. But he's going to come out and say, look, we only know so much. These elites, they know, but the government, they're going to put that out there.
That's right. And that's ultimately so the people of the earth don't panic, man.
Right.
Right? Because if they really find out who operating in these chariots, they'll bug the hell out, man. And they'll rise up against the government.
Right. Real quick, if you said black men are driving these spaceships in the sky and you can't defeat them, and these rednecks are bug out, man. They watching Fox News, right? They got the dip, who's that, the tobacco in their mouth, they spitting it. What the hell? Right?
Niggas in there.
Yeah, the niggas in the air. Goddamn niggers in the air. Right? They loading up their damn nine. They getting their shotgun ready.
We're gonna kill them all.
Right? They getting in the back of the truck trying to fight the damn air niggers.
Right.
Right? Those are the angels, man. So like the brother said, that's what is it? Damage control.
God.
That's the political term for it, is damage control. And cause these people are bug out, man.
God.
Jake, you'll rob them. Oh yeah, these niggas think they fly. They in the sky. We're gonna get them. Right? Jake can try to do a damn drive-by, man.
Plotting in the sky.
Plotting in the sky. So, the Lord got to hold back this information because there's a lot of evil men on the earth. Right? You got it. And I'm going to pull this up about Alexander the Great having an encounter with the angels.
I got a precept real quick.
Come.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 8 and verse 17. And it reads, "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." Right? So the Most High is revealing the information about these chariots in the last days. And best believe the so-called white man know what they are, man. Right? Again, he just don't want to tell you for the purpose of damage control. Right? But through the Spirit of the Lord, we understand what's going on in these scriptures, man. We understand that the angels of the Lord operate within these chariots. Because nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. And that's also in the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 4. Let me bring that up.
Bring it out.
Bear with me.
So we got to go into this, man.
That's right.
We got to break it down through the Spirit.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 4. And it reads thus: "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and sealed the book." Now the book that the Lord sealed was the Bible. Right? For Salakia, for generations and centuries on out, men couldn't understand the prophecies within the scriptures. Reading on. "Even to the time of the end." But now we living in the end times. The end is made manifest according to 2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 5. "Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." So knowledge is being increased upon the earth. The Lord is pouring forth these waters on the earth, and men are understanding these things in the last days.
Con. Now, this is a quick account of the nations knowing about the chariots. Now, when you look this up, this is from civilianmilitarygroup.com, but it's common history, you can find it. This is called Alexander the Great and the UFOs. So we're not going to go in depth on Alexander the Great. You can read about him in Daniel the 8th chapter, Daniel 11th chapter, 1st Maccabees the 1st chapter, right? Now, I'm going to read this quick account. When these ancient generals went to war, they had recorders with them to give an account of how many people died, what cities they took down, and different things that happened in the military campaigns. So listen carefully as we're about to show you what the scribe of Alexander did, wrote down, and what they saw as they were conquering these different nations. Because it was set up in the Bible for Alexander to conquer the world. Let's get that real quick in Daniel 8. Right? We're not going to go read the whole breakdown, but it was set up in the spirit for Alexander the Great to conquer the known world.
And he knew that, man.
Yeah, he knew that.
He knew the prophecies.
Yeah, he knew that. He picked up a sword and said, hey, the Most High gave me this sword, right?
Just like Christopher Columbus.
Just like Pharaoh in 2 Chronicles, I believe that's 34. When Pharaoh said, God sent me to destroy this land, right? So the Most High be working with these heathens to take down these other nations. Not that he's dealing with them with the Israelites, but these nations know, like Abimelech, the Lord appeared to Abimelech in the dream in Genesis chapter 20. You know, 20 and 7, and said, hey, look, Abraham's a prophet, man. Get that man back his wife. So don't think these heathen don't know about the Most High. Even Cyrus said, go build that temple and sacrifice so the God of heaven of Israel can bless me and my sons. So these heathen, they know about the Lord. Stop thinking they don't know about the Most High. Why do you think they hinder the growth of the nation of Israel? Because they know about the Most High. That's Psalms 83. You got a quick point?
That's Judith chapter 5, verse 17. And Judith chapter 11 and verse 10. That's why the heathens want to keep you in sin, man. Because they don't want you to prosper on the earth. Right? Because they know about your God, man. They know about these laws, statutes, and commandments. They know who you are, man. They know you're not an African. Right? They know you're not an African American or a so-called black man. They know you are God's chosen people, man.
That's right. Now I'm going to read this real quick in Daniel 8 and 7. This is about Alexander the Great. All right. Defeating the Medo-Persian Empire, chiefly the Persian Empire, and Darius III at the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BC. So Alexander knew about this. This is Daniel 8 and 7. And I saw him. This is the he-goat with a notable horn between his eyes, which represents the kingdom of the Grecians, led by Alexander. And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his two horns, and there was no power in the ram to stand before him, but he cast him down to the ground, and stepped upon him, and there was none that can deliver the ram out of his hand. Meaning what? Alexander the Great took down the Medo-Persian Empire. So it was set up prophetically for Alexander to rule. So the Most High was working with Alexander to take these heathen down. Now, let me get this quick account. Now, this is the account of Alexander taking the nations down. It says the first recorded incident regarding Alexander the Great and UFOs was recorded in 329 BC. Alexander decided to invade India and was attempting to cross the river Indus to engage the Indian army when gleaming silver shields. This is what he called them. He was marching, then he saw these gleaming silver shields, swooped down, and made several passes over the battle. See that? These gleaming silver shields had the effect of startling his cavalry horses, causing them to stampede. They also had a similar effect on the enemy's horses and elephants, and it was difficult to ascertain whose side these gleaming silver shields were on. Nevertheless, after exiting the battle victoriously, Alexander decided not to proceed any further into India. Because it wasn't set up for Alexander to take down India, man. Look at the borders of the Greek Empire. They didn't go all the way into India, man. You understand? They had a portion from so-called, the Persians had from India to Ethiopia. You look up the Greek, that's in Esther chapter 1 and 1. 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia. That was set up for the Persians. It wasn't set up for the Greeks to go that far. So the Lord sent these chariots down and said, what the hell are you doing? Remember the prophecy. You can only get this many lands. and this many countries. So and even in the account, when Alexander died, before he died, he started crying. And he was weeping bitterly, and his generals came to him and said, why are you crying? What's going on? He said, there's no more people to kill. And then he died.
That's Esau, man. That's right. And that goes to show you that the Lord is in control, man.
Right.
The Lord didn't want him to conquer all these different lands, man.
Right.
Only a certain appointed land that was given unto him. Right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord is controlling these kings on the earth, man. Whether it be the so-called white man, whether it be the Hamite or the Moabite, the Lord is in control of all things. Right? Let's get another precept real quick. Daniel chapter 2 and verse 21. And it reads, he changeth the times and the seasons, he removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. So that's playing upon tables. The Lord removeth kings and he setteth up kings. Right? Going back to 2nd Esdras chapter 6 verse 9, it speaks about Esau being the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. So the so-called white man, he's about to be removed off his power seat. Right? Because he's already fulfilled his blessing, man. Right? He didn't utilize that sword, raped, robbed, and murdered on the earth, but his time is coming to an end. That's in Job chapter 14 and verse 5. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Right.
Got it.
And that's literal, right? Job 14 and 5. It says, let's read it real quick, because that's a beautiful precept, man. That's a classic precept. And Job 14 and 5. And bounds is short for what? Boundaries. Right? Rather, that's on the timeline of life or geographical boundaries that a man cannot pass unless the Most High allows you to pass it. And if it was up to Solomon, he had the power and wisdom to conquer the whole world. The Lord said, no, you can only go this far. These are the boundaries of your land. King David, nobody could take King David in battle, but how can King David then conquer the whole world? It wasn't set up by the Lord for him to do that. He had a certain boundaries that he could not pass and a timeline to do it. You got that in Job?
Con. This is the book of Job, chapter 14 and verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
See that? And let's talk about Esau. He cannot pass it, man. Right? If the Lord wants you to live to be 85, it is what it is. You can't say, Lord, I know you said 85, but I'm working OT to 89. And the Lord said, oh, right. Go ahead and work to 89.
I see you.
Yeah, I see you do your thing. No, you shut down at 85, man. Right? If the Lord wants you out here at the age of 10, you out. What that mean? It's the Lord, man.
Right.
Whatever the Lord said is what it is.
Con.
I got this precept, man.
Con, that's Job chapter 4 verse 7. Whoever perished being innocent.
Right.
Nobody's innocent on the earth, man. But here's Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 8. And here's the classic. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Right? So the Most High gave these different nations their appointed lands and lots on the earth, man. Who did it? The Heavenly Father, because he's in control of this earth.
Right.
Hey, the scriptures say he ruleth in the kingdom of men.
That's right. That's right. That's Daniel 2 and 44. No, it's like that's Daniel, is that 4 and 17, I believe.
Bring it up.
No, we gotta get it's 4 and 17 or 4 and 35. But this is another account of Alexander the Great dealing with the angels. The first one, he called them gleaming silver shields. Now we know those aren't flying shields. They're what? They're chariots. Here's another account. 7 years later, after what we just read, Alexander was confronted with the greatest challenge of his military career. And his attempt to conquer the Persian Empire, he realized that the city of Tyre needed to be captured in order to prevent the Persians from using that port to land an army behind him. The original coastal city of Tyre had been destroyed before and had been rebuilt some distance offshore from its original site. Having no navy, Alexander decided to use the remains of the old city to build a causeway to the new one. So basically, you had this island city, fortified with high walls. Alexander didn't have a navy, so how's he going to get to this land? He built a land bridge, right, with the old waste of the cities, and that took some time. It took Alexander 4 months to do this. That's like going to Hawaii, but you build a land bridge to do it, man. That's a lot of manual labor, right? So these devils are diligent and wickedness. It took Alexander 4 months to do this, and when the task was completed and his troops staged their assault, they were easily rebuffed because the walls were too high to quickly scale and too thick to batter down. Not only that, but the causeway was too narrow to allow sufficient troops to launch a massive enough attack to overwhelm the enemy in order to scale the walls. So you're trying to conquer the city, the walls are too high. They can't get it done. No matter what he does, he can't take it down. Right? Now it says, I want to get straight to the point. Not only was this a problem for Alexander, but apparently, okay, hold on, I'm going to read down. Because he started going off. Okay, the historical account recorded by Alexander's chief historian states that during an attack of the island city, one of 2 gleaming silver shields attacked a section of the wall with a bright beam of light, which subsequently caused that section of the wall to fall. Alexander's men poured through the city and captured the city. You see that? So they attacking the city, and they said they saw this big spaceship come down and shoot a laser beam and attack the wall, man. See that? So the Lord, even these ancient nations, they know about the chariots, man.
That's right.
Everybody knows about them. And Esau has these accounts, these records, right? These historical records of the spaceships. Now I got this precept in 2 Maccabees. Let's go to 2 Maccabees chapter 10 real quick. And 28. Right? The chariots intervene in battle. Right? They intervene. Like they started the horses and destroyed the army. They broke down the wall. Let's see what they did with our holy forefathers. 2 Maccabees 10 and 28. Now the sun being newly risen, they joined both together. The one part having together with their virtue, their refuge also unto the Lord, for a pledge of their success and victory, the other side making their rage leader of their battle. You had Esau, who was fueled off of rage and hatred, and you had Jacob, who believed in the Most High. Let's see how this battle went. But when the battle waxed strong, there appeared unto the enemies from heaven 5 comely men upon horses, with bridles of gold, and 2 of them led the Jews. You gotta visualize this stuff, man. They fighting against the damn Greeks, they stabbing, they throwing shields. All of a sudden, these 2 spaceships come down. Or 5 of them. It says 5 comely men. So 5 spaceships came down, and 2 of them are leading the army. It's the power of the Most High, man. And what did they do? And took Maccabees betwixt them, and covered him on every side with their weapons, and kept them safe. So he kind of put a force field around them, man. Put a force field around Judas Maccabeus, and now they about to shoot out their lasers. But shot arrows and lightnings against the enemies, so that being confounded with blindness and full of trouble, they were killed. And they did that to the Sodomites. Are you about to get that? Who do you think blinded the men of Sodom and Gomorrah? The angels. They caught the chariots over, and the chariots blinded those Sodomites, man. Like they blinded the Apostle Paul in Acts 9, when Paul saw the bright chariot. They blinded the men in 2 Kings chapter 6, when Elisha said, open his eyes, and he saw the horses and the chariots covering the mountain. And the chariots will blind you, man. And then you die that blindness and corrupt. So what happened? These 2 chariots covered Judas with a force field and shot out lasers and destroyed the so-called white man. So Esau can't compete with the Most High, man. His days are numbered.
That's right. And Salakia, they show you that in these different movies, man.
Right.
Like War of the Worlds. They was trying to shoot at the chariots, and they had a force field around it, man.
Right.
Right, that's that halo spirit, man.
Right.
Right, so these angels are out of these worlds. Right, so let's get Genesis chapter 19 and let's start at verse 9. And they said, stand back. And then it's going into the account of Sodom and Gomorrah. Right, when the men of Sodom and Gomorrah were trying to rape the angels of the Lord. Right, because the angels of the Lord, they look like men. Right, they're not little babies that look like Cupid with the alfalfa head. No,
Right.
man. These are men that look austere.
Right.
All right, read on. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. So you got to picture this, man. Right? They was at Lot's door trying to break it down. Right? They tugging in and they kicking the door and they trying to bust the windows. All hell breaking loose, man. Read on. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
Right? So the angels of the Lord have spiritual power, man. For you to smite a man with blindness, that takes power. All right?
And it say, and Salaki, that's pretty much it on that.
So the point is, they smote these men of Sodom and Gomorrah with blindness, just like they did in the time of the Maccabees. All right?
That's right. That's right. Now, this is a quick precept to show how the angels look. This is the book of Judges, chapter 13 and verse 6. Right? It reads, then, this Judges 13 and 6. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, a man of God, which was an angel, came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. So the angels that came down to Sodom, they had a powerful countenance, man.
That's right.
And them Sodomites got turned on with that, man. We got to go rape those men. We want that. They got a powerful countenance. All right, real off, man. So the angels, we don't know how they did it, but we read in Ezekiel 1 that the spirit of the angels is in the wheels. So the angels called the chariots over to blind the men. And then the angels teleported Lot out the city, and then the rest of the chariots came and rained fire and brimstone on Sodom and Gomorrah. That's how it went down. The Lord didn't throw hot rocks with his hand. A lot of people, they think that fire and brimstone is hot rocks from the right hand of the Lord. He sent them there like, damn, the Greek god Zeus, and he's sitting there aiming thunder. It don't work like that, man. Those are the spaceships that are destroying the things, man. You got a precept?
Khan. This is the book of Luke, chapter 1, in verse 8. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before Yahweh in the order of his course, according to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord. And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense. And there appeared unto him an angel of the Lord standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. You see that? So the angels of the Lord, they look austere. They look mighty, spooky, and scary, man. Reading on. But the angel said unto him, fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, and thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. So many of our forefathers seen the angels of the Lord, man. Daniel, right? That's in the book of Daniel, the 10th chapter, man.
Yeah. Let's go to the book of Job 38 and 1. Right? Job saw the chariot, man. Let's go to Job chapter 38 and verse 1. This is the book of Job, chapter 38 and verse 1. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Gird up now thy loins like a man, for I will demand of thee, and answer thou me. How did the Lord answer Job? Out of the whirlwind, out of a spaceship. You see that? So you might be going the hell off, and then the chariot pop up on you. You think it's always there to deliver you? Oh, I'm gonna get beamed up. Then you hear a big dark voice from heaven saying, what the hell you doing, man? Right? Hey, that's gonna make you put your head down, man. Stop thinking when the chariot pop up it's just to show you a good time. The damn angels drag racing. They decide to pay you a visit, show you love, right?
Right.
They kind of get out and dap you up. The angels not getting out. You know how Jake dap you up? They do this, you know,
Right,
and then they do the little damn hug. They're not doing that, man. They're not coming up to give you that little damn two-piece, man.
They not smiling.
They not smiling. And an angel will pull up in a chariot and get on you, man. It just said, Job 38:1, then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who is this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Man, you sound like a fool right now. Who the hell is sounding like a fool in here? You know how the father walk in the room? Who making all the noise? Who broke the TV? The Lord popped up in the chair and said, who the hell sounded like a fool? In a spaceship, man. So everybody kind of had their head down, you know?
Here's the precept on it, man.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and verse 1. The burdens of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt.
Right, so the Lord is coming back to invade America.
Right.
That's spoken about in Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, man.
Right.
It reads about when he cometh upon the people, he will invade them with his troops.
Right.
So he's going to enter into Egypt, which America is Egypt 2.0.
All right, reading on. And the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it.
You see that? Right, so the spirit of America is going to fail when these UFOs, chariots, enter into this land. Right, they're going to be scared as hell. They're going to think it's an alien invasion because they don't have that proper understanding.
Right.
Okay.
That's pretty much. Let's go to verse 3.
God.
And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards.
You see that? So in that day, men are not going to have the understanding. Therefore, they're going to seek it in the wrong places, man.
Right.
They're going to go to the sorcerers, the palm readers, the magicians. What's going on? What are these? Are these UFO? What are these chariots? Aliens?
Right.
They're going to try to find out what's going on, man. You got it.
Con. Now, the chariot that the Lord operated in is larger than the other chariots. Right? He has a chariot that's the actual size of a mountain. And it's bigger than Mount Everest. Right? Can somebody look up how tall Mount Everest is? And let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 1. Right? Can a researcher look that up? Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 1. All right, we got it. Now, Mount Everest is 29,032 feet. That's tall. 29,000 feet. Now, imagine the Lord operating in a spaceship bigger than that. Right? Let's read that in the Bible. You say, well, I don't see that in the Bible. I never saw that. What does it say how big the size is? Right? What does it say that? Let's go.
I can't see that.
Yeah, I can't see that happening. Hey, I had a brother tell me I can't see Noah being 900. I don't see it. I said, well, brother, you don't gotta believe it, brother. How can people be that old? And that's what the scriptures say, man. Why are you getting mad at us? Man lived a lot longer back then. Right? But let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 1. It wasn't eating McDonald's and damn chitlins, man. Like the brother said. Right? This 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 1. Right? We're going to read about the Lord's fathership. See, Esau, he's a homosexual. He called it a mothership.
Right.
That mother may I spirit. No, it's a fathership. This is not a matriarchy. You understand? The Most High run things. Right? So let's get 2nd Ezra 13 and 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed the dream by night. This Ezra. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. So the Lord is emitting fire and brimstone out of his spaceship. Nowhere in the Bible is the Lord coming back to do a rainbow coalition and hold everybody's hand. You got to get out these Christian churches, man. Let's read on. Salakia 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So all of the armies of the earth are going to fight against Yahushua. When World War III is at its climax, Russia, China, Iran, Afghanistan, America, England, Canada, the state of Israel, Yemen, they're all going to be fighting in the valley of Jehoshaphat But when they see Yahweh Shai, they're going to stop the battle that they have amongst each other and do what? Fight against the Lord. Now let's see how this thing go down. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. See that? So Ezra said this man has a great mountain that he's flying up upon, meaning a spaceship. It's so big, Ezra can only describe it with one word, a mountain. He couldn't say a horse, he said a mountain. Let's read on. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not. What does that mean? That means Ezra's looking around and said, well, there must be a mountain missing on the earth, because he's flying up on it. And he's looking around and said, well, if there's no mountain missing on the earth, this can't be an actual mountain. It's a spaceship the size of a mountain. Bigger than Mount Everest. Bigger than Mount Kilimanjaro, man. Taller than the Empire State Building.
Right.
So the chariot that the Lord comes in, it may be 50 stories tall. And I'm led to believe the Lord is just sitting in the chair and calling the shots.
God.
The Lord isn't sweating in the damn chariot when he comes to he's not sweating.
It's easy unto the Lord.
It said he didn't lift up his hand, nor held any instrument of war. But I beheld as he sent out sparks and the tempest and the flaming breath, and they fell with violence upon the multitude. So if you have a huge spaceship, he might have angels working in there, doing certain things. See, Esau, he got his movies like Star Trek. Yeah, when you got the damn, what's the Edomite name?
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, Captain Kirk, he sit down like this. Put it on the 4 blasters. Put it in turbo mode, right? Turn on the screen. And he's spinning around. And they got all these technical terms. Turn on the jigbadam, right? And people got to press the damn buttons. You got the green one with the headset. We're on 4 blast. What do? He says, turn on the jiggle, right? And then they start moving at light speed, man. They get that from the scriptures, man.
God.
Right? I got a precept after.
God. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, and verse 13. And this is allowing me back off the brother precept in 2nd Edges, the 13th chapter. Right? Because it all ties into prophecy, precept upon precept.
Right.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of Yahweh. Right? So why was Yahweh Shai dipped in blood, man? Because he's coming back to slay the nations of the earth.
Right.
Verse 14. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. That's going into the chariots, man. Meaning out of these chariots is going to be laser beams zapping the wicked of these nations.
Right, that's right.
Reading on. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. And he hath a vesture, and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings of Salakia and Lord of Lords. Right? So this is when Yahweh shall come back to slay the nations of the earth, man. Right? He's going to be zapping the wicked, turning people into powders of smoke. All hell going to be breaking loose, man. And he's going to invade America with his troops. Man, the White House going to be severely burnt up by the chariots of the Lord, man.
Right.
Right? And Salaki, it was chariot sightings over the White House in 1951, man.
Right.
They got videos and footage out there. But you mean to tell me the so-called white man don't know what these things are? Man, they are the chariots of the Lord, and he understand that, man.
Come. Let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 8. Right? Now we're about to read about the second coming of Yahweh Shai, but in a dark saying. It's a parable. Right? It's written in a poetic way. So let's go to Song of Solomon, chapter 2, and we're going to read verse 8.
Bring it out.
Right? Because Solomon knew about the chariots, because that's the Lord, man. Right? This is the book of Song of Solomon. Salakia, real quick. Chapter 2 and 8. It reads, the voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains and skipping upon the hills. Now the voice of the Lord is that trumpet, the voice of my beloved. So he hears the trumpet and sees Yahweh Shai is skipping upon the mountains. What are mountains referred to in the Bible by show of hands? Nations, large nations. What are the hills?
Multitudes of people.
Small nations. So he sees the Lord skipping upon them. Does that mean the Lord Yahushua is literally skipping like a school kid? No, it's parabolic for him destroying the mountains and the hills when he hears the trumpet blow. Verse 9, my beloved, which is Yahushua, is like a roe or a young hart. Meaning when the Lord destroys the nations, he's going to be quick, like a roe, like a fast deer. It's going to be a swift destruction. It's not going to be 50 years of war between the Lord and Esau. It's going to be a quick destruction like a roe or a young hart. Behold, he standeth behind our wall. He looketh forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice. Now, a lattice is like a screen for like a window. So what he's describing is the Lord kind of looking at him destroying the nations through like that window of the chariot. So when the Lord is looking at the destruction, like it's in Habakkuk, he can actually see the burning coals at his feet. That's what the lattice is. So he's describing the Lord from a visual perspective, looking through the lattice, ready to deliver the Israelites. Now, when you look that word lattice up in the Hebrew, right, if you got the concordance, we got the big concordance right here, right? You can get it on your own, or you can go in the blue letter, right? You can go into it on that. It's a H2762, right? H2762. Now it says lattice, other opening through which one may look, right? That's how they show you in that Star Trek. They got the big open window where they can see where they going. And the Lord got that in the spaceship, man. So he's describing the Lord looking through the lattice as he's destroying the different nations with fire and brimstone. And you'll see that as we read on. My beloved spake and said unto me, rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. That's the same thing in Revelation chapter 11 and 12. Come up hither, right? My love, my fair one, come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. Meaning your captivity is over. Our captivity is described as the wintertime and as the rain. The wintertime are the days of darkness, right? The rain are the times of depression. That's why they got the song, Can You Stand the Rain? Right? New edition. He's not talking about the actual rain. He's talking about the dark times, the troublous times. The days when y'all button the heads, the days when y'all don't get along. Can you endure those even times of affliction? So the Lord uses that terminology, because that's where they got it from the Most High, to describe the days of our captivity as the winter time and as the rain.
It's hip talk.
It's hip talk, right? These are lyrics right here. These are songs. Jake, you could break down all of the damn Kendrick Lamar songs. You see, you heard what he said? Rewind it. You heard that? He said like a so-and-so. Right? No, Jake, you do that, man. You at damn rapgenius.com. You clicking on, you watching the interviews.
Jay-Z.
Mike can know what I'm talking about. You're listening to Jay-Z. That's called a double entendre, brother. Right?
Yeah.
Hey, Solomon been doing that, man. You got to break down these lyrics now.
God.
You got to go into the dark sayings and shed the light of Yahweh while Yahweh Shah on it to understand that he's speaking about delivering the Israelites and telling you your captivity is no longer existing and now you're at peace. And let's read on, you'll see that through the Spirit. It reads, the flowers appear on the earth, the time of the singing of birds has come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. So it's springtime. It's time to be alive. You understand? It's time for what? Joy now. It's time for peace and happiness, man. It's no longer time to be in a winter, cold, naked, and dead in the valley of dry bones. Now it's time to live with the Lord. So the Lord is telling you that he's even going into the chariots and Song of Solomon, man. Right? You got a precept?
Con. Right? Because these chariots are the deliverance of Israel. Man.
Right.
Right? That's how we getting out of this place, man.
Right.
Let's get that in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 16. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
Right.
So this is going into the day of resurrection, when we beamed up in these chariots, right? And being saved from the thermonuclear destruction that's coming upon this land. Reading on. To meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. So these words are comforting, man. Right? Because we're not going to be here forever, man. Right? The days of suffering, waking up
at the crack of dawn, going to work, slaving for the white man, right? Catching hell within your household. These days are coming to an end, man. The Lord is coming back to save his people. That's spoken about in Luke, the 1st chapter. We're going to be saved from our enemies and from the hand of those that hate us.
That's right.
The so-called white man. So the Lord is coming back to do 2 things with these chariots, to deliver and to destroy the wicked, man. And that's the perfect balance with the Most High. Proverbs chapter 11 and verse 1.
That's right. Let's go to Psalms chapter 68 and verse 13. Let's go to Psalms chapter 68 and 13. Go more into these chariots, man. It reads, though ye have lion among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. What does that mean? The lion among the pots represents captivity and slavery. So although we've been in captivity and slavery in the wilderness and desolate, yet we'll be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver and gold. What is that symbolic for? For the chariots.
Right.
Do you have actual doves with silver? You ever see that, Micah? A dove flying around with gold? No, Esau, he's been killed that and captured that. Right? That's too heavy for a bird to fly with metal. So it's all hip talk. The wings of a dove covered with silver and gold. Like the Lord said, he walketh upon the wings of the wind.
That's right.
Let's read on. Verse 14. When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow and salmon. When the Lord returned and destroyed the nations, it's going to be in nothing but righteousness. That's what it means, white as snow. The hill of the Most High is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which the Most High desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Lord would dwell in it forever. So the Lord is saying, I chose Jerusalem. That's what it's saying. I didn't choose you other hills. Why are you leaping and starting to mock? Why are you fighting against me as if I would choose you? I would never choose you. I chose the hill of Jerusalem. That's what he's saying. That's who I'm coming to deliver. But it's all written in a way where you have to go through the precepts and be in the spirit to understand it. You can't have a carnal mind, or you'll think that hills are actually getting up and leaping. Hills don't have legs and knees and an ACL. And that damn tears MCL, and the hill got to sit out for 2 weeks, and another hill will come off the bench. No, these are parabolic talk for other nations leaping and trying to fight against Yahushua, but the Lord said, no, I chose Jerusalem. Let's read on. Verse 17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. So the chariots of the Most High are 20,000. You said what?
You got it.
Even thousands of angels. And it said the Lord is among them, as in Sinai. What does that mean, as in Sinai? Let's go to Deuteronomy 33. Who is on Mount Sinai? Moses. So what is the Lord saying? What is he saying? If he's saying that there's 20,000 plus chariots, and the Lord is among these chariots, as in Sinai, what is he saying? No, not the Israelites being the chariots. He appeared to Moses with the chariots. When Moses perceived the laws and commandments, you think the Lord kind of did this here, boom, and then he peeled off, kind of dropped them off and ducked off. No, the Lord like a show, man. The Lord is glorious, man. The Lord is marvelous, man. The Lord is not just going to give Moses the commandments, kind of write it down, throw them at him, and peel off, I got something to do. No, man, the Lord came down with spectacular fashion. Let's get that in Deuteronomy 33 and 1. About the Lord coming on Sinai with the chariots. Let's read about it. Right? Stop thinking Moses just got the commandments in the cut, man.
Right.
You want to say something?
No, you got it.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 1. And this is the blessing wherewith Moses, the man of God, blessed the children of Israel before his death. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai, and he rose up from Seir unto them, and he shined forth, because he's in that chariot, from Mount Paran, and he came with 10,000s of saints. From his right hand went a fiery law for them. Meaning the Lord came, the saints, I'm not talking about the Israelites. There's no account of the Lord coming with 10,000 Israelites to talk to Moses. These are talking about the angels. You have the saints in the heavens, you have the saints on the earth. The word saints just means holy ones. kodashim in the Hebrew. You have the holy ones in the heavens, you have the holy ones in the earth.
And that's in Salaki. That's in Daniel the 10th chapter as well.
Yeah, Daniel 10.
Daniel said, I seen one saint talking to another.
Daniel 8.
Yeah,
I believe that's 8, yeah.
Yep.
He saw one saint speaking to another saint, and he asked him about the captivity.
Yep.
Right? So Daniel called even the angels, he called them saints. So what is it saying? When the Lord showed up with Moses, Yahweh Shai came with 10,000 angels and chariots. Right? And we're led to believe that those 10 commandments written and scribed was via the laser of the chariot, man. That the Lord didn't have a pick and an axe and a chisel and he's sitting there scribing in there, man. Right? We're led to believe the damn laser came, you know how you carve it in there and you put that in the perfect Hebrew.
Yeah.
That's how the Lord got him, man. That's what says a fiery law. Was the laws on fire when the Lord had the tables of stone? Oh, shit, it's hot. And he got to set it down. No, he had the fiery law because the chariots inscribed that in there and gave them to Moses when Yahweh shined the angels.
Acts.
You know? Let me get this one more quick precept. Okay. Let's go to Galatians chapter 3 and 19. All right, so Moses knew about the angels. There's even an ancient so-called Renaissance painting of Moses seeing the chariots. Right? If you look that up, you saw that. See that there's an ancient painting of Moses getting the law, and it's nothing but chariots in the background. Because our fathers knew about it, man. Right? But you tell your church Moses saw the UFOs, and they kind of gave him the law. Hey, they'll kick you out, man.
What you talking about?
And take your wife. Right? Let's go to Galatians chapter 3. Let's go to Galatians chapter 3 and 19. Right, this is Galatians chapter 3 and 19. Quick precept on that. It reads, wherefore then serveth the law? It was added because of transgressions, Salakia, till the seed should come, to whom the promise was made. And it, meaning the law, and it was ordained by angels and the hand of a mediator. See that? So the law was ordained, meaning given by the angels to the mediator, Moses. So that's how Moses received the law. 40 days and 40 nights up there with the Most High, dealing with his son and dealing with the angels. That's when he came down and he was glowing. And he had to put a veil over his face. You got it.
Khan. This is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 52. Which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted, and they have slain them which shewed before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it. Right, so the Israelites, they received the law through the angels. Right, we just reading it, right, upon Mount Sinai.
That's right.
All right, so that's the precept on it, man.
Let's go to Isaiah 31 and 5. Right, another precept. So the Bible covers the chariots in a volume of the book, man. It's not just one chapter and you read about the chariots and that's it. They're written all throughout the scriptures. And parabolic talk. So what? Isaiah 31 and 5. It reads, as birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. So the Lord said as birds flying, because the chariots are going to be flying over and delivering the Israelites and beaming them up. Why would the Lord compare the deliverance as birds flying? Because the chariots are going to be flying. That's called a simile, using the likeness of one thing to compare it to another. Our deliverance is compared to as birds flying. Right? Because when the chariots come, they'll be literally covering the sky. I tell you that in Revelation 1 and 7. Right. And behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. And all the kindreds of the earth shall well because of him, even so amen.
Yep.
So everybody's going to see the angels, and it's going to be like birds flying. You ever see birds cover the whole sky? Never seen that when birds be all erratic and covering the whole sky?
Perfect unison.
And yeah, and they had perfect unison. And they had military formation too. You got the head bird in the middle, and then it's like a phalanx. If you know what a phalanx is, then they got the other birds like a little triangle. They come in military formation. So the birds, it's like the chariots are coming like birds flying. The chariots are coming bumping into each other. I want to deliver him. No, I want to deliver him. And then they fighting, and then the angel popped the trunk. Then the other angel said, what's good? What's up? right? From East Heaven, the other one from over West Heaven, right? It ain't working like that. They're going to be in perfect order. You never see birds fighting, man. You got the lead bird, then the other bird try to take his rank. Then they start spinning and they crash to the earth. No, birds are in perfect order. But birds got order and can understand rank, but man can't do it. Man, I gotta be the number one guy. And I gotta do this. Even the birds are in order, man. So man is proud. You know?
You got it. Con. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Meaning these clouds are going to cover the heavens just as lightning cover the heavens.
Let's go to verse 30. It say, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven even to the other.
Right, so these chariots are coming back to deliver the 12 tribes of Israel, right, scattered abroad from the north, east, south, and west, man. And this is our deliverance. Let me get another precept on that. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1.
See that? That's the spirit.
That's
the
the
Lord
spirit.
called it a strange salvation, man.
Yep.
Strange.
Right? And why is it strange?
Because we're going to get delivered via the chariots, man.
Right.
The so-called UFOs. That's strange to the people of this earth, man. They're going to say we have been abducted by aliens.
Right.
Right?
Hey, and the other nations, they might have saw a little salvation. Maybe an army kind of defeated another army. That's what the world is used to. They might say the damn niggers are with the space. The aliens came and took the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans and took them up to space. Now they might rejoice, right? But the Lord going to really tell you how they feel about us getting beamed up. The brother about to get it.
Con. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors.
That's talking about us right now.
Right.
When we go out there in them highways and byways and rebuke the heathen and wake up our people in great boldness. Right?
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
So this is going to be strange to see so-called blacks and Hispanics beamed up in chariots, man. They're going to be amazed at that thing. Oh, my
Right.
God. Wow. I never seen that before.
Right.
Okay, reading on. And they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. How is he numbered among the children of God, and his lot is among the saints?
Right? But the Lord going to put the spirit in them to know that this is salvation from the Lord, from these terriblest times, man.
That's right. That's right. Let's go to the book of Isaiah 40 and 31. 4 and 30. Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 30. It reads, even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles, and they shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Now every Christian know that verse. It might be in your auntie mantle. Somebody might get it tatted on them. Everybody knows that scripture, but they don't understand what it's talking about. Let's read it again. Isaiah 40 and 30. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. Meaning when all hell break loose, they're going to be cast down. But they that wait upon the Lord, and you constantly read about that. Wait on the Lord, wait on the Lord, wait on the Lord, and you'll be delivered. But those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Meaning you'll receive your spiritual body. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Does that mean we're going to shapeshift? Remember, the brothers might not remember Animorphs. It's a show back in the day, right? When they had these kids and they'll turn into animals, man. The elder know about it. Does that mean they're going to grow wings out of their back? What does it mean they're going to mount up? Let's go to that Hebrew word for mount up. So if you got a coordinates, it's H5927. when the Lord says we'll mount up, it says to go up, ascend, to go up, to come up before God.
Come up hither.
Come up hither. So the Lord says we're not going to faint, we're part of the elect. We're not going to fall. We'll renew our strength in that spiritual body, and we'll mount up as if we had wings like eagles going into the chariots, man. That's what the Lord said in Psalms 91. They shall bear thee up, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. So the angels are going to bear you up through the spirit, and the chariot is going to beam you up and take you out of this place, man. And it's going to be a strange salvation, like Enoch. All right, let's get that real quick in Genesis chapter 5. Right? Enoch walked with the Most High, and he was not.
Real quick question. In Matthew 17, did that
That's the chariot too. With the transfiguration, the bright cloud that appeared and said, "This is my beloved son in whom I will please."
That's in Mark the 9th chapter.
Yeah, in Mark the 9th chapter and Matthew the 3rd chapter. Right?
2 Peter, the 1st chapter.
That's right, that's right. So
Going to Enoch.
Enoch, Kantawato, Genesis chapter 5. Right? Yeah, you might see it called the bright cloud in the Bible as well. A bright cloud. Because of the lights. Ezekiel saw the lights on it spinning. Right? But this Genesis chapter 5 and 21. I'll read 23. It reads, "And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." See that? Enoch walked with the Lord, meaning he was prophesying, teaching the commandments. Walked in the straight and narrow gate. Walked in the path of life. Doesn't mean the Most High came down and it was the footsteps in the sand story. Your brothers know what that is, man. You probably heard the footsteps in the sand by your grandmother. If not, you can look it up. Right? That, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, well, that's what brothers believe, man. Now, when it says Enoch walked with the Lord, he was prophesying and doing the work. Tell you in Jude that he was prophesying, man, about Yahweh Shah coming with the angels. Now, why does it say Enoch walked with God and he was not, for God took him? The Lord took him in a spaceship.
He was translated.
He was translated, like the brother said.
Abducted.
Abducted. The word abduct literally means in a Latin, ab meaning to away, and duct goes back to the Latin meaning to lead. So he was led away from the earth all the way to the third heaven.
And you got to know that, man. Right? Because you might have certain people that come up and ask about Enoch and Elias, right? And what happened to them.
Yeah,
you got to know that they was taken up, man.
Right.
They was so-called abducted. And you can't be ashamed to say that, man.
Right, right.
They might look at you with two faces.
Right.
You got to say, well, look, it is what it is, brother.
Right.
That's in the scriptures, man.
Right. And Enoch was abducted, and because he's an example of repentance to all generations. Let's get that in, I believe that's Hebrews chapter 11. Right? Enoch was abducted as an example of repentance to all generations.
This one in the Apocrypha.
No, it's right here. That's what I want. Salakia Kings. It's Sirach 44 and 16. But it's also, you can read about it in Hebrews 11 and 5 on down. But I want Sirach 44 instead. Ecclesiasticus chapter 44 and 16. Right, let's get that. Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha,
Sirach.
right, also known as the book of Sirach or the wisdom of Sirach. Chapter 44 and verse 16. It reads, "Enoch pleased the Lord and was translated, being an example of repentance to all generations." What does that mean for us? If Enoch is the forerunner of an example of repentance, what does that mean for us? If we repent and believe in the Most High and please the Most High, what's going to happen to us?
We're going to be taken up.
We're going to be taken too. You might have a story, and Israel walked with God, and the nation of Israel was not, for God took them, man. The elect. See that? So we have to refine ourselves and replace ourselves with Enoch. See that? Now the word Enoch in the Hebrew is kanat or kanawat, which means dedicated, or you may say the learned one, right? Because he was learned in the knowledge of the Most High. He was dedicated to the Most High as an example of what a man should be like to escape the hell on earth. Don't think how Enoch was living. He was living good. The life on the earth was perfect. No, life was corrupt, man. Why do you think the flood came? You know? And Enoch actually knew about the flood, man. We don't got to go too deep into that, but no, it's not in the book of Enoch. But Enoch had a son, Methuselah. Now, we're not going to go too deep into it, but when The word Methuselah in the Hebrew roughly translates to death shall come by him. Meaning, or death is sent by this man. That's how it roughly translates. Meaning when Enoch died, the same day that Enoch died, the same day that Methuselah died, the flood came. Because Enoch prophesied that the flood would come by Methuselah. He knew that the day Methuselah died, the flood would come. That's what it means, death shall come by him. So Enoch knew about the flood, and he knew about Yahweh Shah.
Precept.
Bring it up.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and verse 14. For his soul pleased the Lord.
You trying to start before that?
Start at verse 10. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and verse 10. He pleased Yahweh and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners, he was translated. Right? Because it was a wicked world during that time. Right? He was living among sinners, homosexuals, thieves, murderers, all kind of rebellious people.
Right.
It said, yea, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul. So the Lord had to take him up, man, lest that wickedness alter his understanding. And that's the same thing with us, man. We got to be saved from this land, lest we start going off.
Right.
Lest we start going into sin and committing all kind of abominable acts. Verse 12, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure the things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
Yeah, read that again, Baba Gashar.
Verse 12. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
Yeah, what does that mean? It means that if you were to stay in this captivity, your mind would slowly alienate from the truth.
Deteriorate.
Right, deteriorate. The bewitching of naughtiness. What is naughtiness? Sin. Wickedness. So the bewitching of naughtiness will obscure things that are honest. You will slowly start looking at the truth as if it wasn't the truth.
Just like when you get older and you age, you slowly start to lose understanding.
There you go. You slowly start to lose understanding, man. You start to forget things. You start doing the wrong things, right? So in this captivity, the Lord has to immediately remove us from it, lest we slowly deteriorate and corrupt with the rest of the world. Because bewitching of naughtiness does obscure things that are honest, man. And that's the purpose of the so-called white man's institution, to obscure things that are honest, to hide the truth, to keep you in sin. And it says the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. Meaning a brother that's not rooted in this thing and that's not studied, his mind is going to what? Wander off into sin. Maybe this truth really isn't the truth. We've been here for 300 years. Been in the truth for 15 years. We still in captivity. I miss that smoking weed. What is that like? What's the definition of concupiscence? What you got?
It's like you keeping your mind on whoredom.
Keeping your mind on whoredoms, evil sexual lust. That can be carnal or spiritual. You can have concupiscence thinking about going back in the world, going to these strange doctrines and women and philosophies. And if you're wandering or thinking of that, it's going to take you captive and rule over you. Right? And you'll be in subjection to your thoughts and you'll slowly fall out the truth. So the Lord has to remove us because he knows how weak man is. And that man can't do, the flesh of man overrides the spirit. So the Lord has to give man a spiritual body and get him out of here like Enoch, or we'll all be corrupted.
That's right. Verse 13. He being made perfect in a short time, fulfilled a long time. Meaning Enoch had wisdom, knowledge, and understanding.
Right.
Right? He was ancient.
Right.
He was mature in the spirit.
Yeah, he was made perfect in 365 years. But the elect of men, you have brothers that's made perfect by the age of 15, they're going to get beamed up. By the age of 21, they're going to get beamed up. And the more corrupt world, man. So these men that are getting delivered, they're going to be made perfect. The Lord said in Hebrews 12 and 23, and to the general assembly and church of the firstborn written in heaven, and to the spirits of just men made perfect. So men are being made perfect in these last days, you know? And those are the men that's going to get beamed up out of here in a spaceship.
Here's the precept on it. Verse 8, Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 8. For honorable age is not that which standeth in length of time, nor that is measured by number of years. But wisdom is the gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age. So the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that's what makes you perfect, man. Right? Keeping the commandments of the Lord, having the Holy Spirit upon you. Going to verse 14. For his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. This the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up in their minds that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he have respect unto his chosen.
That's mean.
And the saints are the Israelites. That's Psalms chapter 148 and verse 14.
Right.
And Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5. All right.
That's right. Let's go to Isaiah 4 and 4. We're going to get a few more. We're going to wind down. All right, dealing with the chariots. So brothers should have an arsenal of precepts for the chariots now.
Finish this article.
Right? Yeah, what?
Finish this article.
Oh yeah, we're gonna finish that article real quick. The article for brothers just tuning in. There's an article that we're going to show it again. We're going to pull it up. The brother Malachi got it. UFO report. Can I see the title one more time, King?
God.
UFO report, the water. Government can't explain 143 of 144 mysterious flying objects. And they blame limited data. See that? See that? So we going, and it's 144 mysterious flying objects. So why not go into? We're going to go into the law. We're going to keep it. And the brother said, hey, let's go into the chariots. So let's do it, huh? Right? So let's go to Isaiah 4 and 4. Right? This is the book of Isaiah, the 4th chapter and the 4th verse. It reads, Sluggy, bear with me. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 4 and 4. When the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. Meaning after the Lord purged Israel, even the daughters of Jerusalem, and we get taken out of here. And the Lord will create upon every dwelling place at Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. So upon every dwelling place is going to be a cloud. What is a cloud? A chariot. So when you get taken out of here and you're in the wilderness leading up to the kingdom, every house is going to have their own chariot, man. Like the first wilderness. Don't you know we had a huge chariot over us in the wilderness? Right? Let me get that real quick in Exodus chapter 40. Right? Let's get that. Then we're going to finish that article. In the wilderness, you had a chariot there, man. How do you think we were seeing? We didn't have the flashlight on your iPhone. Right? Moses here, hold that. Right? No, you had a huge tractor beam of light that allowed us to see in that wilderness, man. We didn't have electric light bulbs. Right? This is the book of Exodus, chapter 40 and verse 36. It reads, Salakia, Exodus chapter 40 and 36. And when the cloud, and we already went over that the clouds are the chariots. And when the cloud was taken up from off the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not till that day, the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. So all throughout the wilderness, we had a chariot over us. The chariot would come down, and the tractor beam would come out. We'll set up our tents so we could see. You understand? Keep the animals away, the wild beasts away. And then the chariot would lift up, and that would be the sign that says, okay, pack up your tents. We're going to continue marching. So Moses, they all knew about the chariot. And the Lord would come down in the chariot upon it, shine his light upon the door of the tabernacle, and he would deal with Moses and the Israelites, man. You got it.
That's right. To the article. Okay. So going back into the article, I read the first paragraph again. It say the U.S. government can explain 143 of the 144 cases of unidentified flying objects. Again, that 144, that's a spiritual number, man.
Right.
Which represents the governing body of Israel, of the elect. It reads on. Reported by military planes according to a highly anticipated intelligence report released Friday. It say that one UAP, shorthand for unidentified aerial phenomenon, was a large deflating balloon, the report said. Right, so Esau is calling it a balloon.
Right.
Right, he don't know what's going on,
right,
man. These are the chariots of the Lord. And it reads thus. The others remain unexplained. The report
which was required by Congress, added, while the reporter explicitly stated that unusual activity had been reported on multiple occasions, it also did not rule out that those incidents were the results of errors or spoofing, right? I don't know what that means. Esau say spoofing.
Making up stuff.
Yeah. It say, in a limited number of incidents, UAP reportedly appeared to exhibit unusual flight characteristics. These observations could be the result of sensor errors or spoofing. See, Esau don't know what's going on.
We gotta find out what this spoofing is.
Yeah, spoofing or observer misperception and require additional rigorous analysis. It say the report. Say it
This is
again.
like satire, like joking, scoffing.
It say the report does not mention aliens or even vaguely hint at an extraterrestrial explanation for the reported sightings, right? Because these aren't aliens, man. These are the angels of the Lord,
Right.
right? And if you want to get deep, the word alien just means foreigner.
Right.
And the angels are foreign to this land. They're not from the earth, man. They from the heavens. Reading on. It say, for the report silence, but makes clear that much of the phenomenon may be beyond the existing mind, the existent means the government has to identify such objects, right? So it's above the government understanding.
Right.
A senior U.S. government official said ahead of the reports released Friday that we have no clear indication that there is any non-terrestrial explanation for them, but we will go wherever the data takes us. The official added, we do not have any data that indicates that any of these unidentified air phenomenon are part of a foreign collection program, nor do we have any data that it indicative of a major technological advancement by a potential adversary.
What?
So, yeah, so, you know, Esau don't know what's going on.
Right.
That's what it comes down to it.
And that is an adversary, man. They know that they have the Space Force and satellites. What is the point of the Space Force? Right? To fight against the Lord, man. Now they can say, well, we want to fight the meteors in case the meteor destroy the earth. We'll send somebody out to land on a meteor to set a bomb and hop back in the ship. No, that's not the plan of the Space Force. It's literally set up to fight against Yahweh Shah and Michael the archangel. Hey, John the Revelator, real quick, in Revelation 12:7 says, and there was war in heaven, man. And Michael and his angels fought against the devil and fought with his angels, man, and was cast to the earth. So everybody knows about the oncoming war in the heavens between Yahweh Shah and his chariots and Esau and his fighter jets, man.
Battle of Armageddon.
Yeah, the Battle of Armageddon, man.
Khan, here's a video of the chariot.
See
Or
that?
one of the chariots, rather.
See that? And we know it's kind of small, but you got to bear with us, man. Right? Now, you can look it up on your own. You can go on this website. You can kind of dive into it and look it up. See that? You can see the spaceships, man.
Khan.
And there's 1,000+ videos, man. But you got to kind of be careful.
Yeah.
Right? Because they might show something you might think is a real chariot. But
Right,
it's
Esau
not.
got Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, you
out
got
there,
Project Bluebeam.
right? And he's going to fake the second coming of the Lord. So you got to be prepared for that, man.
He shall show great signs and wonders, that if it were possible, he shall deceive the very elect. That's Matthew chapter 24.
I got another video.
Khan.
It's from the brother Kasadia, Jersey, Philly. And this is the new Fortnite game right here, man.
No brother smile.
Hold up. See that? Showing the chariots.
Oh, you
of
see
the
that? They're
Lord.
showing the chariots, man. So they know about that, man. You see that? They kind of looking in there and they open up the little beam. Look at that, and it's abducting the people, man. Or is it destroying them? It's doing either one, man.
Right. So Esau know, man.
Right,
That's what you call subliminal programming.
right.
Right? Getting your mind prepared for the second coming of the Lord. Right? And it say they came without warning. Fortnite invasion.
See that? They came without warning. And they had was that a Nike commercial when the Jake got beamed up, man? You know? So they put this stuff in the movies. You seen Will Smith in Independence Day, man? And he fought the angels, start kicking them when his parachute landed. You're not going to be able to fight the angels.
Right.
And kick them on the ground. And cuss them out, man. You know, why you going back to the military base?
They got I believe it's a TV show on Netflix called 44,000, man. Right? And it showed the elect men receiving spiritual power. Right? So, hey, man, that's the scriptures, man. Because the men of the Lord are going to receive spiritual power in that day. And that's spoken about in the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 8. Let me bring that out real quick.
Bring it up.
Okay? Right? So that's Esau's subliminal programming, man. He's letting you know what's really going on the earth. This is the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 8. It say, let's start at verse 7. And he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. But ye shall receive power after that the Holy Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem and in all Judea and in Samaria and unto the utmost parts of the earth. Right? So right now we have power on a low level. Right? We're able to go out there and wake up Israel through the Spirit. Right? And preach mightily for the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's power on a low level, man. Right? Spiritual discernment, discerning these demons, exercising these demons out of Israel. That takes power right there. Right. But it's going to come a time where the Lord is going to give us physical power, physical strength, ability to fly, right? Telekinesis, to transport, so on and so forth, just like the angels of the Lord.
Con. This is Job chapter 37 and 11. Let's go to Job chapter 37 and 11. All right, this Job 37 and 11. It reads, also by watering he wearieth the thick cloud, he scattered his bright cloud. So you have actual clouds that shoot out water, but you also have something called the bright cloud. The bright cloud is a chariot. And you're going to show you that as we read on, that this is not an ordinary cloud. He causeth, Slakia, and it is turned round about by his counsels. Like, see the chariot turn round about. When the last time you seen an actual cloud in the air and it starts spinning real fast? No, this is talking about the spaceships, the UFOs. And it is turned round about by his counsels, that they may do whatsoever he commanded them upon the face of the world and the earth. Then they might shoot a missile, they might correct you, might beam you up, they might be there to boost your faith. You might be down in the spirit, and the Lord showed the chariot beam up over you, and you kind of feel a little bit better, man. And now you read and you study, and that was the purpose of the chariot, man. Go boost that man's faith. So they do whatever the Lord commanded them upon the face of the world of the earth. He causeth it to come, whether for correction, or for his land, or for mercy. So they come for many purposes, man. To deliver, to destroy, for mercy, salvation, you know, to blind the heathen, struck fire and brimstone. So these chariots play a pivotal role in this thing, man. You know?
Con. Let me get the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse 15. Let's start at verse 14. It say, therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of Yahweh was risen early and gone forth, behold, an host compassed the city, both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we do? And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Right? So we have more military might than the so-called white man.
Right.
Right? Because our military might comes from the third heavens, straight from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So we don't fear the face of man. We don't fear Esau fighter jets, his helicopters, his missiles, so on and so forth, man. Because we know we got the angels of the Lord protecting us.
Right.
Reading on. And it say verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. You see that? It say the mountain was full of horses of fire round about. Right? So the Lord manifests thousands and millions of chariots unto the men of the Lord, man. Right?
Right, and when you read the rest of that account, and he blinded those men, man, and made them wander in a way that they didn't know. So the chariots are coming, man. They're coming to destroy America, destroy England. They're going to bomb the Empire State Building. They're going to destroy the Statue of Liberty. They're going to destroy that nasty supervisor boss, that Edomite, who keep telling me to work double overtime. They're coming to kill everybody in America, man. The Lord said in Revelation chapter 11 that the 10th part of the city is going to fall, man. And 7,000 men died in the earthquake. So there's not going to be anybody remaining in the land of America when the chariots return, man. Not one American is going to survive the invasion of the Lord. The Lord isn't taking Edomites captive out of America. He's not going to enslave them. Everybody in America is going to die via the hand of the chariots, man. You know?
That's right. This is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 35. Now this is what the Lord did to the Assyrian army via the angels of the Most High. 2 Kings, chapter 19 and verse 35. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. That's 185,000 men.
Right.
That's a lot of damn men.
There's a lot of dead bodies.
Right? That's a lot of corpses. That's a lot of dead and rotten flesh destroyed by the angels of the Lord. Reading on. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. You see that? So the Lord is going to do that for the nation of Israel, man. Imagine how much fatalities and destruction is going to be upon America, man. There's going to be millions and billions of people getting put to death, right? But the Lord said right here, he smote of the Assyrians 185,000 men. That's about 2 stadiums, man.
Right.
You got it.
And it said, I believe it said angel.
Yeah, the angel of the Lord.
Singular. One angel can kill 185,000 people. How much more millions of angels?
Slaughter the earth.
That's right. But with that, we're going to close up. Kwam Yashala!
Kwam Yashala!
Kwam Yashala!
Kwam Yashala!
Kwam Yashala!
Kwam Yashala!
I'm going to take a quick intermission. Shalom!
Shalom!